Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And I'm just sketching here while I'll talk about a little bit about drawing on the iPad. And also, I guess you'll see both me drawing and me reviewing the Paperlike screen protector. So I've been drawing on the iPad since 2020, I believe. Been drawing on it since the end of 2020. So this is like the iPad from 2020. At the time, the M1 came out, the M1 iPad, but I wanted this one instead because this one still had an LCD screen, which I like. I like LCD. And before drawing on the iPad, I drew on like a Samsung Android tablet, and that one didn't have like a Paperlike thingy screen protector on it. It had like a regular film, like a see-through, it's transparent. It's just like a screen protector. It's not like tempered glass. It's just like a plasticky film. Drawing on it was fine. It was great because I just happened to think that the screen itself is it's not that premium compared to the iPad, whatever Samsung tablet I used, because it was like the cheapest Samsung had at the time. And the nibs of the pens, the S Pen, they weren't really all that plasticky, not like solid plastic like the Apple Pencil's tips. They were kind of rubbery a little bit. And drawing, even though I didn't have like a Paperlike screen protector, drawing on them, on those tablets was fine because the nibs of the pens, the styluses, they weren't all that like hard and not all that hard, because if you've used an Apple Pencil before, you should know that the tips are very hard and stiff. Not like the tips on the S Pen. So I didn't get one for that one, but the moment I got the iPad, I realized that I did need one because the surface of the glass was just so smooth and so it's like solid. It really did feel like I was drawing on glass, so I needed one. And I got one. And I'm using it now, so I'm sure you can also hear it, but is it necessary to make it feel like drawing on paper? Does it help with drawing? And I initially thought so. Like, it did help a little bit with drawing. It made the drawing experience feel a tiny bit better, because it gave me a little bit of feedback when I would start drawing on the screen, because without it would feel like too much, like drawing on a super smooth surface, and the stylus would just almost slip across the screen. But with the Paperlike, I got a little bit of resistance, but it wasn't quite like drawing on paper. Far from it. But I did like the way it diffused the light hitting the screen, so there's no glare. And I noticed my nibs started getting worn out very, very quickly, and I guess that's because of the Paperlike screen protectors. Over the years, I realized that the Paperlike screen protectors don't really do much in terms of making it all that comfortable for drawing. And if you have an iPad and you want to draw comfortably, I thought I would tell you a few things, because after about 5 years of drawing on it, I feel like I have learned a thing or two at least compared to other people about what makes it comfortable to draw, because comfort is number one when you're drawing. If you're not comfortable, you cannot keep drawing, but if you're comfortable, you can draw all day long. So it helps reduce glare, so no matter where you sit, it won't be all that bad, and it helps make your drawings look kind of like how it would look if you were to print it on paper. I don't know how it would fare on OLED screens, because the new iPads have OLED screens, right? But the one I use has an LCD screen, so the Paperlike helps make it look even more like what I would end up with if I were to print my drawings on paper. So that helps, but it doesn't really help much in terms of drawing. And I think at this point, what really helps make drawing more comfortable, and I'm using Procreate, which I'm sure a lot of you are using, for me, is if you set, let's just go to the preferences here. If you set pressure and smoothing, you see this motion filtering here. Just try your best to get it as close as possible to like 15. Yeah, 15.1. No. Okay, oops. Let me just try that again. Can I get it? Whatever. Close enough. 14.9. Motion filtering, set it as close as you can to 15%. Because I feel like it will make it very close to how it would feel when you draw on paper. And the pressure sensitivity thing I adjusted, not because it makes it feel like drawing on paper, but I don't really draw all that hard. Like I don't press down hard, like that hard. So I set it to, well, whatever that is, because I don't want to press down too hard when I draw. And the thing about drawing on paper, which is still the best, is what's so good about drawing on paper is when you draw, if you want more stable lines, more straight lines, you can just press harder. And this is something you take for granted because you don't notice it until you draw on anything else, I guess. That's not paper. But you will, when you draw on paper, your pen or your pencil will sort of sink into the paper. Like even though paper is just, it's paper thin, it's paper. Paper is paper thin. Like even though it's paper thin, your pencils or your pens will still sink into the paper, slowing down your strokes and giving you a little bit of a cushion effect, enabling you to draw straight lines, tidier looking lines, or even if you're drawing curves, that feedback that you get from paper, even if the paper is smooth, there's still some texture in it, combined with the texture from the tip of your pencil meeting that smooth paper, even if it's smooth, not like rough drawing paper, it's still going to give you some feedback when you use a pencil or a pen on paper compared to drawing with a stylus on like an iPad. Which is why drawing on an iPad will never come close to drawing on paper. And you cannot exactly press harder when you're drawing on an iPad because it will ruin your screen or your stylus or both. Because if you're pressing harder, you're not pressing down on a worthless piece of paper that's like you can get paper for free pretty much these days because it's so cheap. You can even get it from your mom's printer or something. You steal one or like a whole stack and you draw on those things. You cannot exactly press harder on an iPad because it will ruin the iPad screen. But setting the motion filtering, what was it called again? The motion filtering slider to 15% would make it seem like you will be getting that sort of line accuracy you would get in real life if you were to draw at least that slow on paper. And it is something you will get used to. So you're not going to exactly be drawing as, you're not going to be pressing down probably like at all on an iPad like you would if you were using a pencil. But if you have drawn on paper before, you would know how slow you would get if you were to press harder. Like, if you press harder, you will end up drawing slower than if you were to not press hard, because your pencils will be sinking into the paper. And you kind of have to mimic that, what's the word? Mimic that motion of just drawing this slow on an iPad screen without pressing down, and then you will get marks that are as accurate as if you were drawing on paper. And I don't recommend you adjusting it like over here, because then you would have to keep adjusting it for every single brush that you were using. So I have it on in the preferences in pressure and smoothing over there, motion filtering, so that it just gives all of my brushes the same feel. Like, no matter what I use, it will feel like I'm drawing on paper. Like, I'm not pressing hard, but still the marks I am producing would look like the kind of marks I would be making on paper if I were to draw this slow, minus the pressing hard part. So that's if you were to draw on an iPad screen. Actually, it would be different if you were to be drawing on like a graphics tablet. You know, the black slabs, your Wacoms, your Huyons, your XP pens. Because those things are different. Those feel, you can kind of dig into them, but you shouldn't. You know, like when you draw on them, your stylus will kind of dig into them, so it will feel more comfortable. Yeah, but you shouldn't really dig into them, because I used to dig into mine and it developed like a gash. But thankfully my XP pen tablet, it came with like a matte screen protector, and I just put that thing on top of it, and it's all good. I don't even think it would do anything to the tablet, even if I left that gash alone. But I was just afraid of, if I were to be making like a mark across the tablet, right where the gash is located, that it would affect the kind of mark I'm trying to make. Like if I'm trying to make a straight line like this, because there's like a gash, so the tablet would look like this, and there's like a gash over there. Like, I'm afraid if I were to like move my stylus like across like that, instead of making a straight line, I would make like a line, and then it will wobble a little bit and then continuing back to a straight line. But yeah, that's kind of off topic. But yeah, anyway, like if you're thinking of getting a screen protector, Paperlike, don't expect it to really change the way it feels to draw. I think it's, for me at least, it's more like relaxing. It's more of like a relaxing type of screen protector, like a product to attach to the iPad screen, because it makes it sound like you're drawing, even if it doesn't make it really feel like you're drawing. Like, I'm sure you can, like, I'm hearing the sound of me drawing right now, and it's nice to listen to. It makes me feel like I'm drawing, even though I don't feel like I'm drawing if I don't have that motion filtering setting turned on. It's just the sound of me drawing is quite relaxing. And I guess it would be also useful if you were making like content for social media or like YouTube, like I am. It just makes it sound like you're drawing, so people will know that you're drawing it, instead of like, if you draw and there's no sound, it might seem like somebody else is drawing and you're just talking over it. But yeah, that's about it. Me rambling on about the comfort of drawing and how it might help you to feel comfortable drawing on an iPad. Hopefully that helped. Sketch isn't looking too bad actually. I might just continue turning that into like an actual thing, or just finish here and then add some color later. Add some color. Maybe I'll add color to one of them just to show you, because I kind of feel bad leaving you guys with just a sketch. At least this one corner will be colored. It shall be colored. Doesn't have to be all that tidy. Let's go darker, the different shifted hue. Oh yeah, I'll just change to this one. By the way, I am using my own brush pack that you can get from Gumroad, from my Gumroad store. Links are always going to be in the descriptions below. And the one I'm using now is actually a prototype that I'm developing. It will be included in my brush pack on Gumroad, just not yet, because I'm still working on it. Don't know if it's good enough to be let out into the world. Yeah, this one I quite like. This is the rest of the brushes I have in this brush pack is called hand drawing. The rest of the brushes in here you can use to achieve the same type of look, because this is like a brush pack I made to make it seem like you're drawing with like a pencil or like pastels or like charcoal. Everything will look dusty, sort of dusty, like you can see, you know, like you're drawing with chalk, like a really smooth chalk. That's the reason I made this one. Nothing gimmicky. You still have to hand draw everything, but the brushes are they're textured, so it will make it seem like you're drawing on not on, you're drawing using like pastels. Roughly block in the shadows of the window. I actually need the other one. That one has a jitter. Every stroke would be of a slightly different color and levels of darkness. This one will stay the same. I don't know which one to choose. I like both. Sometimes I like to have a jitter for like blocking in like base colors, like what I just did. But then when I'm done blocking in base colors, I like to go with brushes that don't really shift in color. I think I might just merge everything. Yeah. By the way, this is a very useful technique for you, for all of you to learn. And this is called just painting over shit, painting over everything. Painting over your own thing. Because I'll just give you an example. You know how when you get a commission and clients want a lot of changes, but if you are too rigid in your workflow, like it might be too late for you to really change much about the picture that you're drawing, that you're making, but they still want changes, and you feel like you still are responsible for those changes, but it's just very hard to do. Well, maybe it's not very hard to do for you because you're still new, but once you get more commissions, even though it wasn't hard to do before, now suddenly you're getting like 10 commissions and you have to make 10 different changes, and it's really putting a lot of pressure on you to just make all those changes every single time. So being able to paint over things like this will help a lot. Even when you're drawing like anime, because just because it looks like line art doesn't always mean that you have to make line art make your line art be placed above everything and have all the colors beneath. You can always cover everything up. Again, you could flatten the whole thing into one single layer. You could move entire limbs, like if your client wants the arm or something to be a little bit smaller, but you don't have to change 10 different layers, adjust all of them to cater to that demand of theirs. You can just flatten the whole thing, and you can just shrink the entire arm, and then you can paint over it using the eyedropper tool by picking the colors that are already there. And then when you're done, since it's anime, which is just an example by the way, you can always just add the line art back in. So it's kind of like reverse line art, sort of. It's kind of like faking it. Faking the order of things, kind of. Because you're not going from line art to color, you're going from color to line art. And I promise you, it would make things so much easier for you, and the results would look arguably better because you are sparing yourself from all of that stress. All that stress that would have been there if you were being too hard on yourself. Yeah, this looks cool. Looks like a building, kind of. Wonder what else I should do. Maybe I can add like a crack. I have another brush back here called Stone. And I have this one brush called... Where is it? Where is it? That's not the one. This is the one. Cracks and crevices. Just damage the thing a little bit. And I'll go back to that other brush that I was using before. And now we cover it up. And now this thing looks like it's broken everywhere. I need to get new nibs, by the way. You might hear the stylus making like a squeaky noise. It's making my ears bleed. Okay. That's not transparent enough. And I think I can delete a little bit here and here. Really make it look like it's broken everywhere. There. texture? Can I? Oh, it's too dark. Wait, it's actually not bad if I just erase this part. Yeah. I'm not afraid of using black, by the way. A lot of the Renaissance painters used black. So I use black. And that's about it. Hopefully that was a good talk for you. It was a good talk for me. Thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. Hopefully your drawing will be more comfortable now after knowing my little trick on how to draw more comfortably on the iPad. And if you'd like to see more drawing, go ahead and subscribe. I also do storytelling. I make my own fantasy art and I attach stories to them. I tell you about these stories all over in my channel. I got a playlist you can click on. Included, it should be included in the back of the video. Or you can also click it in the description. Filled with just stories that I make myself. You can commission me. You can, what else can you do? Or you can ask me things. Comment and I'll answer, because I always read all of them and I try to answer all of them if I know the answer to them. I guess that's about it. I'll see you again in the next video, everybody. Bye bye.